The only question mark was Michael Porter Jr., who strained his left non-shooting shoulder in Game 2. But Coach David Adelman says he's as tough as they come. He is ready to go tonight for Game 3 here in LA. The first time this gorgeous facility will host postseason basketball, and they are ready to rock here at a sold-out Intuit Dome. More than 17,000 fans. Our crew chief, James Capers, Ben Taylor, and Ronaldo Acosta is our three-man crew. We are underway with the Clippers in their blue jerseys, Nuggets in the whites. Game 2 on Monday night back in Denver. 105-102. Clippers won it behind Kawhi Leonard's masterful 39-point output. 15 of 19 from the field. Here's Zubac, guarded by Porter. Zubac, the lefty hook. That's his new shot he's worked in this year. Missed it. Gordon quickly up ahead. Gordon gets the bucket. They're going to count it, plus the foul.
And one by Gordon right there. Great take as we see Jokic getting the assist and busting it up in that fast break and finding a way to get an easy look. Love the aggressiveness, and if you're the Denver Nuggets, it's a great start. Gordon right there, and one, takes the contact, finishes with ease.
The defensive specialist, Chris Dunn, picks up his first foul. Gordon's been battling a calf injury all year long. He completes the three-point play. We'll watch that storyline as Coach Adelman has to monitor his play.
And let's keep an eye on this Nuggets zone defense. They started the game out in zone. Most teams start out in man. They started in zone. They got the turnover on Zubac. They come right back to it. Let's see how the Clippers handle it.
Back into Zubac with Jokic on him. Backdoor feed. Kawhi can't finish the dunk. Kawhi gets it back. Kawhi, the jumper, doesn't go, but the claw will go to the free throw line. So aggressive early on. Kawhi Leonard was tremendous in Game 2, as we mentioned. Aaron Gordon picks up his first foul. When Kawhi plays this season here on this court, they are 17-7.
I thought it was interesting. You asked Coach Lue a question before the game. He said, is this the best that Kawhi has looked in the Clipper uniform? He actually said no.
He's seen better. Powell knocks down the three for the first Clipper points. Yeah, he said the best Kawhi has looked was Ty Lue's first year here in the first round series against Dallas.
He was special that series, too. If you don't know, check the numbers.
This series has a long way to go. Here's Jokic with the Euro, and that goes down for his first points. Nikola Jokic had a nice game in Game 2, where he had a triple-double with 26, 12, and 10. Back to Zubac.
So this is going to be a deciding factor in the game when we see a turnover. How will the Nuggets handle that Zubac, James Harden pick and roll? Our first look at it, advantage Nuggets.
The team that has lost the first 2 games has committed 20 turnovers. Game 1, it was the Clippers. Game 2, it was the Nuggets. Here's Gordon. Mid-range jumper off the window for Aaron Gordon, who's got a quick 4.
Banks open late in LA.
Pardon me, quick 5. Early lead here for the Nuggets. Penetration into Dunn in the corner. Good defense by Porter. 10 on the shot clock. Harden, sweet move, Harden, lefty floater. And he got fouled in the air. David Adelman, just his 6th game as the interim head coach. Remember, Michael Malone was fired back in the late April with just 3 games to go. Won his first 3 games. You, of course, recognized the last name. His father, a Hall of Famer, a head coach for several franchises, maybe most notably with the Kings for 23 years. His father manned the sideline, so he's been around big series throughout. Harden knocks down the first. David Adelman is opposed by Ty Lue, who's in his 5th season with the Clippers. He is already number 2 in Clipper regular season and playoff wins, only behind his mentor, Doc Rivers.
I think Lue has done an excellent job this year getting these guys to buy in defensively. The Clippers defense has been elite. Have to also talk about Jeff Van Gundy over there on that bench and the impact that he's had on this Clippers defense as well.
We have the Clippers, the 3rd best defense in the NBA this season. Jokic guarded by Zubac. Reverse, no good. Jokic gets it back. Zubac wanted an offensive foul. He didn't get it. Zubac still trying to brush off some contact to the face.
And I know Zubac guards Jokic pretty well. But if you're going to leave him down there one-on-one, Joker's going to eventually have his way.
Harden over to Dunn, his second look at a three. This time pure.
And that's big time for Dunn to see the three go down early. Denver's obviously going to look to help off of him, force him to beat them from behind the three-point arc. So anytime you can get that shot to fall early, it's great for your confidence.
Denver up by 1. Jokic knocked it into the leg of Zubac. Jokic got it back. Down low to Porter, and Porter, he's tough, man. Look at that shoulder. He's got a wrap on it. 11-8. Clippers want to pick up the pace, unable to do so. Even in the win, game 2, Ty Lue not satisfied with how they played tempo-wise.
Oh, man.
Kawhi wide open.
That's not the guy you can leave wide open. There's a miscommunication right there. I think it was between Jamal Murray and Porter Jr., but both guys ran away from Kawhi Leonard. That's absolutely the wrong guy to run away from as Jamal Murray knocks down the triple on the other end.
First 3 of the game for the Nuggets. Clippers have made their first 3 out of their first 4 3-point tries. Here's Harden driving. Harden, 2-point look no good. Zubac pulls it down. One of the best rebounders in the league. Kawhi open again.
Once again, this time the Nuggets very fortunate for some reason. They're forgetting that the call is out there. Can't leave that guy that open getting quality looks.
Aaron Gordon, second consecutive possession. The Nuggets get a triple. Gordon off to a great start here. He's got 8 points. Leonard in the corner to Powell, who they'd like to get going. Powell baseline to Dunn. Dunn rattles it home.
And Dunn knocks down his second triple. Like I said, they always talk about this young man's defense. You talk to anybody, any of the coaches on the Clippers coaching staff, they rave about his defense. But what he's doing for them offensively tonight cannot be overlooked.
Gordon, another look. He's got a quick 11 here.
Aaron Gordon, have yourself a ball game. Came into this ball game with a little bit of a strained calf or injured calf, and you wouldn't be able to tell by the way he's playing right now, getting it done inside and out.
Remember, Gordon's had 2 different stints missing games as they try to heal that calf injury. David Adelman telling us that if this was a regular season game, Gordon would not be playing tonight. 4 on the shot clock for Kawhi. Over to Powell, corner, 3-ball, Harden. No good. Great defense there by the Nuggets. One of the reasons why you presume Michael Malone no longer is the head coach is that porous defense by Denver throughout the year. And that takes us to our first timeout of the game. Aaron Gordon has been sensational. He's hit all 4 of the shots he's taken, and he's got a quick 11 for the Nuggets, who lead it by 6. As you're watching Game 3 from LA on NBA TV.
I'm Taylor Rooks, and both head coaches said that this Clippers-Nuggets matchup feels like the Western Conference Finals. So the physicality is high. Got Hall of Fame players, guys that have raised banners. And Ty Lue said that attention to detail matters so much since it's so evenly matched. His entire film session yesterday was about their wasted possessions through 2 games. Their plays out of timeout where they didn't execute. And James Harden added, listen, this series has shown 2 things. 1, everyone needs to appreciate Kawhi Leonard. And 2, the Nuggets do not beat themselves. If you make 1 mistake, you pay for it, and there is no time for mistakes tonight, guys.
Well, Taylor, Aaron Gordon almost had his 10th point of the night. There's Kawhi getting going here. He's now got 5.
And that was a very smart drive by Kawhi. When he got out in transition, he saw Jokic ahead of him. Jokic already has 1 foul, knew he wouldn't want to pick up the second one and attack the big fella.
And David Adelman was talking to us about what Taylor was discussing, that this doesn't feel like a normal 4-5 matchup. Both of these teams had interesting years to get to this point. There's Murray with the shot clock winding down. He's no good on a 3.
I think if you look at the whole Western Conference as a whole, outside of the 1-8 matchup, all of the West is so tough that none of the matchups, the series matchups, seem the way they should, as Dunn missed his first 3-pointer. You look at the Lakers versus Minnesota. Minnesota's not the average 6 seed. You know, this isn't the average 4 or 5 matchup. You know, so the Western Conference is loaded, and we're seeing it. We're getting treated with some great basketball.
There's a block by Zubac. Wow. But there's going to be a whistle.
I don't know. I'm going to have to take a second look. That one looked kind of clean.
Yeah, Gordon had scored the last 6 consecutive points. Pardon me, the last 8 consecutive points for the Nuggets. Here's a look.
Hey, that's clean. That's clean. You got to review that.
Remember, there is not all that much depth behind Zubac. If there is a weakness on this Clipper team.
That's a good block, man.
So
I think Lou's got a challenge.
He's going to. Ty Lue gets the word from the back of his bench. He signals to James Capers. And David Adelman's going to say it took more than 30 seconds, which is the time allotted. But it's subjective in terms of did the shooter get the ball yet? And I think the Nuggets are going to argue.
Telling the ruling of a defensive foul.
Nuggets are going to argue that it took forever to get the shooter the basketball.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was looking more at the replay as opposed to who had the basketball.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout. We'll come right back with the decision from the ref. So it is a successful challenge for the LA Clippers, but what the Nuggets are going to argue here is that Aaron Gordon had the ball in his hands before Ty Lue signaled, but you can see James Capers starts to turn his head before Ray Acosta gave him the basketball, which is why it was allowed to be called. Nearly a turnover, and in fact it is a turnover on Jamal Murray. So let's review here. The foul wiped away from Zubac because the Nuggets had imminent possession after the whistle blew. That's why Denver was able to get that possession with 10 on the shot clock, but they turn it over, and now the Clippers get it. 20-16, Denver. Russell Westbrook checks in for his first time today. He's in there for Michael Porter Jr.
And going back to that last offensive possession, that was a rather careless turnover by Jamal Murray. And Coach Adelman talked about they can't have those type of turnovers. Every possession matters. You have to value the ball. You can't just give it away.
So despite the foul being wiped away from Zubac, Simmons is in and he's guarding Jokic. Great feed behind Simmons' back and going to Christian Braun.
What an absolute dime by the Joker. Catching Brown on the baseline, just cutting for the game.
Ben Simmons gives a whole bunch of versatility. Can run the point on offense, defend the center on defense. Powell, 3, book it. Norm Powell's got 6.
Coach Lue talked about hopefully Powell knocked down a couple shots at the end of game 2. He was hoping that would continue in game 3 because he was a little bit shaky early on in this series. Westbrook
has been left open much of this series here, guarded by Kawhi. Into Jokic, who has 5 assists. Give him 6 dimes. Bucket and the foul for Christian Braun.
And this is what truly sets Jokic apart from not just most big men in today's game, but big men in the history of basketball. It's the ability to make everybody better. Look at this no-look dime right here to Brown. I thought the ball was actually going to Westbrook, and then he's able to find Brown on the baseline yet again. The Joker, arguably the best passing big man in NBA history. Do you agree with that sentiment?
There's no question.
Well, a lot of people like to hate. I just wanted to see where you were at.
I'm with you, partner.
You really, and that means he really must be a great passer. You never want to agree with me.
That foul was charged to Ben Simmons, who rips down the one-handed rebound, gives the opportunity for some pace here for the Clippers right up ahead. They get it down to Simmons, guarded by Jokic. 24-19, 4:13 to go first quarter. Nuggets with the lead on the road, game 3, series tied at 1. 8 on the shot clock. Murray hounding Harden. Back to Harden, who loses it out of bounds. And again, these turnovers. Listen, both teams shooting the ball fairly well. The Nuggets 62.5%, the Clippers 43%. Nuggets with just 1 turnover. That is the 2nd turnover for the Clippers.
And we talked about it. Both of these teams have been fairly equal in this playoff series, but the difference making who's won and lost has been the turnovers. As you see Russell Westbrook with a turnover of his own on the charge. Game 1, the Clippers had 20-plus turnovers. They lost that game. Game 2, Denver had 20-plus turnovers. They lost that game. So the turnovers obviously matter. And a play like this, Russ just has to pull up right there and make that pass. The defender had 2 feet in the paint and was just simply waiting for him to come down there.
Non-Kawhi minutes. What are the Clippers trying to do here?
Well, there has to be a lot of James Harden in the pick and roll, and especially if you can get Jokic in it. You want to get Harden in that type of situation where he's able to attack Jokic's feet.
Here's Derrick Jones Jr. No. And it comes out to Russell Westbrook, the former Clipper. Now Jokic. Peyton Washington getting some run here early on. Over to Christian Braun.
And there you see right there.
Oh, what a feed! A rocket inside to Murray.
The passing display that Jokic is putting on right here has been absolutely exceptional.
7th assist. Harden right back down the other way. The stroke is pure. That is the 6th made three in the first quarter for the Clippers. Westbrook not slowing down. Porter for Watson. Jokic guarded by Simmons, nearly loses it, and then bounces it on the end line. Jokic had 7 turnovers in game 2.
And watch right here, Jokic already anticipating where Murray's going to be, finds him cutting along the baseline. That's the 3rd layup that Denver has gotten on the baseline.
Harden looking for another triple. He's got it.
Big game, James. He has come to play.
That's going to result in a Nuggets timeout. Clippers capitalize off of Denver miscues in game 2. They're doing it again here tonight with this big bucket.
James Harden coming off the pick and roll for 3. Money ball.
NBA Arena, the wall. You're seeing the top of it. 51 uninterrupted rows with fans going nuts. And close your ears, all dogs. Nay! The horse heads are out.
Can we hear that again?
Nay!
Did you practice that?
Just driving dogs crazy, and apparently they think it's going to drive the Denver Nuggets crazy here as well. The wall trying to stop the Nuggets, but you cannot slow down Nikola Jokic to go along with his 7 assists. Jokic now has 6 points.
That's excellent. That's an excellent execution coming out of a timeout right there. Getting the big fella right at the rim.
Harden scored the last 6 for the Clippers. Simmons to Powell. Powell gets hit by Watson. And that'll be 2 shots coming for Peyton Watson.
And if you're Watson, you got to have a little bit more discipline in that situation. Can't afford to foul a jump shot shooter.
Watson has scored just 3 points in game 2, 6 points in game 1, and here commits that foul with Norman Powell at the line. Let's get more from Taylor Rooks.
Thanks, Jared. Yeah, that quick 6 points, now 7 there from Norman Powell. And yesterday he said, obviously right now shots aren't coming for me like they did all year, but he's staying confident, trusting his work, taking the open shots. Said these are the shots he's made all year, and his teammates have been encouraging him to shoot and be aggressive. Ty Lue said a Norm game is absolutely on its way. Looks like he was right, Jared.
Well, he was one of the most improved players in the NBA this year, was not eligible for the award because of the limited number of games he played.
I thought he should have been All-Star myself.
Yeah, the first half of the season, sensational. He increased the score nearly 8 points from last year. Jokic in trouble, gets it out to Watson. Watson, the runner, no, and Simmons has the rebound. So they've been playing without Zubats here, and Jokic on the court. Harden fouled by Watson, 2nd straight possession. They've targeted Watson.
And the young fellas be getting a lesson right here in the playoffs. These vets are crafty.
Watson in his 3rd season, played here in LA at UCLA.
And right there, James, that's definitely a foul. And James just sees young fellas leaning, goes right into him, picks up the foul. And that's just a lesson that Watson is learning right now.
That's the first foul in the last 2 minutes, and it was on the floor, non-shooting foul. Here's Ben Simmons, who has been hesitant to shoot. Harden with 95 seconds in the quarter. Harden off the window. Harden gives the Clippers a 29-28 advantage. Michael Porter Jr. back in for the Nuggets. First lead of the game for the Clippers. They've allowed Denver to shoot 63% here in the quarter. Denver's led by as many as 7. Westbrook, 3.
That is what the Clippers are going to do. They're going to help off guys like Westbrook, Watson, even Christian Brown to a certain extent.
Simmons fell to the ground. No whistle on Watson. 10 on the shot clock for Harden. Harden with 6 on the clock. Step back. Harden. Good! Harden catching fire. Largest lead of the night, 32-28 with 45 seconds to go. Westbrook bounce pass for Jokic. And we're going to get a kick ball. 14 on the shot clock here. into Jokic. 6 points, 7 assists for Jokic. Down to Westbrook. 7 on the timer.
Just flat out,
Westbrook fires.
out there. Not a lot of space out there. When you have Watson and you have Westbrook out there, the Clippers are shrinking the court.
Shot clock just about a half a second ahead of the game clock.
I tell you what, I wouldn't allow James to ISO. I'd trap it and get it out of his hands right now.
Harden's got 13 in the quarter. Batum from 3. Good! And Watson does not get it off before the buzzer. A 16-2 run to end the first quarter for Steve Ballmer squad. The first game at Intuit Dome in playoff history sees the Clippers take a 35-28 advantage into the second quarter. Coverage on NBA TV presented by AT&T. A couple of moments ago, Taylor Rooks with Nuggets interim head coach David Adelman.
All right, Coach, the Clippers have 9 made threes. How do you adjust defensively, specifically against James Harden?
Yeah, we got to press up, be more aggressive, trust our back line to help out. Obviously, they got it going a little bit there at the end, but it's going to happen. We got to calm down, maintain our composure. We'll be okay.
Before the game, you harped on turnovers. How can you all be cleaner with the ball?
Well, we got to calm down, like I said. I mean, Nicole, I believe, has 8 assists. So if we can get him the ball, take advantage of the double teams and triple teams, we'll be in a good spot.
Thank you. Back to you.
Let's not get crazy, Coach Adelman. Jokic only has 7 assists in the first quarter. Leonard off on a 3. Zubac there for the putback.
Zubac just too big right there for Aaron Gordon. Went in there, carved out space, did his work, dirty work while the shot was in the air, and was able to get the tip.
18-2 run. Watson soars in, knocks it to Gordon. Gordon keeps it in bounds. Gordon over Leonard. No, MPJ can't get the putback. And all of a sudden, the Nuggets offense has gone cold.
And Zubac has Jamal Murray on him inside. They got to find him.
There they do. And he answers.
Listen, Zubac, his game is so underrated to me. They love him here in LA. Just right there, quick catch, finish with the left hand. He's good with both hands inside on the jump hook. Great touch. Big time roller, excellent screen setter also.
Derrick Jones Jr. appears to be hurt. Nuggets playing on a power play here. Gordon finished the dunk. Comes out to Bogdanovic. They give it to Jones, who's clearly hobbled.
And right now, the Clippers have all the momentum.
A 20-2 Clipper run. Bogdanovic, who's played sparingly over the first 2 games, to Jones. The ball has healing power.
Got to get a timeout.
A 23-2 Clipper run. 42-28. Intuit Dome is alive. From a chilly Los Angeles, the NBA on NBA TV is brought to you by Kia, movement that inspires, and brought to you by Progressive Insurance. It's easy to bundle your home and car insurance at progressive.com. Nuggets started the game hitting 8 of their first 9 shots since. They've gotten just 4 for 17. They trail 42-28 in this pivotal game 3 of the first round in this 4-5 matchup. Murray shot's no good. He lands and gets fouled. Murray will go to the free throw line. First foul on Derrick Jones Jr. We were talking to David Adelman before the game about what to try and limit with the Clippers. Was he okay with Kawhi Leonard's 39-point explosion? And he said to a certain extent, it wasn't all that bad. The rest of the team shot just 39%, and they held the Clippers to just 105 points.
Yeah, but it's been the exact opposite effect tonight. Kawhi only 5 points, but it's been the rest of the Clippers getting involved, and especially behind the three-point line, where they are 10 of 15 from 3. That's been the deciding factor in this ball game so far.
How about this decision here? They've been playing the early non-Jokic minutes without a traditional center. Now they bring in DeAndre Jordan into the game. Now remember, in the last 2 playoff runs, the backup center had been Aaron Gordon. But due to that calf injury and the limited time they could A, have him on the court, and they don't want to exert him to a certain extent. He's not playing those backup 5 minutes anymore.
Well, I think this move for DeAndre Jordan had more to do with Peyton Watson. We saw him with the 2 silly fouls, and then he's not being guarded by the Clippers on the defensive end. So
Bogdanovic nearly throws it away. The claw comes up with it. Back to Bogdanovic. Fakes on a 3. Whips it in the corner. Batum, his second triple.
wow,
A 26-3 run.
great minutes for Batum. And the Clippers continue to stay piping hot from behind the three-point line.
Foul away from the ball here as Gordon and Batum were battling. Batum giving Ben Taylor, with the referee, a piece of his mind.
Bogdanovic's great pump fake right there, draws Brown in. And then Batum knocks down the 3 in the corner.
The aside out of bounds. Gordon's inbounded. DeAndre Jordan on the championship team a couple of years ago as a backup center for the Nuggets. I love his veteran presence. Here's Murray with 4 on the clock. Air ball up to Jordan. Jordan hounded by 3 defenders, and he got fouled. And this may not be the worst case scenario for the Clippers.
Yeah, Jordan not really known as a great free throw shooter, but he is known as a great offensive rebounder and gets in there and does the dirty work. Let's see if we'll be able to go to the line and knock down.
Well, DeAndre Jordan, an all-time Clipper great, ranks #1 in franchise history in games played, playoff games played, rebounds, and blocked shots. But now, a member of the Denver Nuggets. Let's take a look at the upcoming NBA playoff schedule. Friday on ESPN, the Celtics and Magic play Game 3 of their series at 7 Eastern. That'll be followed by the Wolves and Lakers at 9:30. Friday on ESPNU and right here on NBA TV, the Bucks and Pacers Game 3. Saturday on ABC. How about the Warriors and Rockets series? Game 3 at 8:30 Eastern. For more on these games, please go to NBA.com or visit the NBA app. DeAndre Jordan misses a pair of free throws. Jordan this season just 42% from the charity stripe. Leonard going out Brown. Leonard behind his back. Leonard corner. Misfires, turnover number 3 for the Clippers.
Let's see if the Nuggets can get anything going in these non-Jokic minutes. It's been a struggle for this team, even when they won a championship. The non-Jokic minutes, as we see Murray knock down the jumper, but the non-Jokic minutes have been a problem for a very long time, and they simply cannot find the answer for it.
Nuggets now 1 of 7 from the field. Murray hitting the first field goal of the quarter. Bogdanovic, back iron, comes right out to Leonard. Leonard working on Gordon, a terrific defender. Corner, Bogdanovic swing it. Batum fakes. Batum goes down. Friendly home roll for Nick Batum.
And Nick Batum is 3 for 3 from behind the arc. They're trying to run him off, but every single time he's pump faking, sidestepping, and knocking down the J.
Murray back-to-back deuces. The Clippers have hit 12 of 18 threes. They've only made 4 two-point shots, and the Clippers 4 for 4 from the line. So you know what the strategy was tonight. There's a 2 from the claw, his 7th point of the night.
This Nuggets defense is being tested right now. Clippers getting anything they want.
The Nuggets offense was sensational this year, but most of that had to do with Jokic. How about Michael Porter Jr. from downtown? Remember, when Jokic is on the court, this is virtually the best team in basketball. During the regular season, when Jokic was off the court, virtually the worst team in basketball. You're seeing that now. Derrick Jones Jr. off on the 3. They're now 12 for 19, bringing the Clippers down to 63% from 3. Brown, his hand in a triple. No. And Kawhi grabs the rebound. Kawhi quickly up the court. Over to Bogdanovic, down to Zubac, who's guarded by Jordan. Zubac. And the foul on Jordan, and here comes Nikola Jokic after Jordan commits his first foul. So Jokic comes back onto the court with his team down by 13 points.
Listen, down 13, but you know you got the 3-time MVP, so a lot of ball games still left to play. Let's see how quickly they can get back into this ball game. I tell you what, if I'm LA, I'm going to run a pick and roll with maybe Kawhi and Zubac, see how Jokic plays it. They're going for the ISO.
Jokic has 6 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. In about 13 minutes of action, Kawhi forces up a three. Derek Jones Jr. soars in. Goes up with his left hand, no good.
That was an impressive rebound, though.
And here comes Michael Porter Jr. quickly up the court.
Everything but the finish. After you get the impressive rebound, you gotta finish it, though.
Westbrook left open. He buries it. Russell Westbrook forces Ty Lue into a timeout. Finally, some momentum back in the side of the Denver Nuggets here. Game 3 on NBA TV. Clippers 50, Nuggets 43. Clippers up by 10, and as you can imagine, the celebrities out here at Intuit Dome. Kevin Costner.
Okay.
Somebody save me.
All right now.
Jelly Roll, there he is. Kyrie Irving in the house as well tonight.
Uncle Drew.
A lot of others. Big names, including Brendan Haywood and Eddie. Did you see the entourage around Taylor Rooks today?
No, I didn't see it.
Unbelievable. Zubac's lefty. That is something they have worked so hard on this year with Zubac. That lefty hook, he has been so efficient.
He's not a flashy player, but he's a highly effective and efficient basketball player. He catches inside, he catches everything thrown to him, finishes with both hands, and rebounds his behind dog.
Westbrook whips it into Brown. 5 on the timer. Jokic 3. Prior to that miss, the Nuggets had made 4 out of their last 5 shots from the field. Clippers have led by as many as 16, but keep in mind, this Nugget team has come from behind, down 15 in the playoffs more than anybody else over the last several years. Zubac to Leonard. Leonard, pull-up jumper. No, it's short. Aaron Gordon gets it.
Pull the string on that one. Kawhi, we've seen him knock that shot down time and time again. This shot is short.
Gordon walks into a 3. No. Brown the rebound. Amongst the trees decides to back it out. Gordon to Jokic. Jokic, 3 of 5 from the field. 6 on the timer. Guarded by Leonard. 3 on the timer. Porter to his left. Porter forced it up. No good. Gordon, another opportunity. Westbrook from 3. No. Remember last game rebounding a plus 18 in favor of the Nuggets.
Oh, wow, what a move by James Harden. Excuse me. Going right by Christian Brown.
Harden's got 15. Clippers 54 to 40. Gordon quickly the other way, no. Batum, great defense, grabs it up ahead. Here's Harden looking for his own shot. Harden, no good. Harden wanted a whistle, didn't get it. Nuggets have numbers. Jokic puts it up for Porter. Didn't want to use that left hand. Remember, he sprained that in game 2.
And Jokic thought Porter was cutting for the lob. You can see Porter obviously did not want that action with that injured left shoulder.
It's like when you try and throw a lob to me.
He looks something like it.
Harden, no, gets the whistle that time. And Harden will shoot 3. First foul on Michael Porter Jr. Well, Michael Porter Jr. has been dealing with ailments his entire basketball life, Taylor.
That's right, Jared, and he talked to me about being out there tonight despite what he told me is a significant grade 2 AC joint sprain. He felt better this morning and said, I'll be honest, if this was a regular season game, I might miss a couple, but I've overcome challenges my whole career, as you said. And on top of that shoulder, he's also dealing with other issues. He wears a custom brace on his left foot to assist in his drop foot he acquired from multiple back surgeries. The brace was affecting his confidence and his movements, but this morning he found a new brace, different from the previous games, and said that it is better, and it seems like he's moving a bit better, but that was the hope coming into today.
And just so you know how tough this guy really is, I had a grade 1 AC joint sprain playing pickup basketball in the summer. My training staff got with me and said, listen, to let this injury heal, you need 4 to 6 weeks of non-basketball related drills and no contact. That was a grade 1. He has a grade 2, and he's out here in the playoffs, and the level of pain on that injury is high. Every time he gets hit, it hurts. When he raises his arm above his head, he feels pain. So this guy is truly giving it all for Nuggets Nation.
Second time tonight, the Nuggets down 16. Westbrook airballs a three. Westbrook tonight 1 for 5 from three-point territory.
They're going to let Russ take as many shots as he wants.
Kawhi, turnaround, largest lead of the game. 8-0 Clipper run forces David Adelman into a Nuggets timeout.
And right now it's all Clippers over the Nuggets. Kawhi Leonard with the easy pull-up and the fade.
From the field, they've hit 12 threes. They lead it by 18, their largest margin of the series. Michael Porter Jr. back out there, replacing Russell Westbrook. Some light pressure here by the Clippers.
And I think you got to take Russ out of the game simply because of the way the Clippers are guarding him. They're not guarding him at all. They're letting him shoot anytime he wants, as we see Murray miss another jumper. And when you have multiple guys that aren't shooters, it shrinks the court, and guys like Murray and Jokic have a harder time scoring.
Leonard off. Porter Jr. has it. Nuggets have missed their last 7 shots. Remember how hot Aaron Gordon was early. Made his first 4 shots from the field. Haven't heard from him since offensively. There's a foul on Zoo. Second foul on Zubac.
And that's huge. Let's see if Ty Lue's going to keep him in the game.
In game 1, Denver came from 15 down. They've got 8 come from behind wins. The Nuggets do. Pick up that thought in a moment after another foul here away from the ball.
That was the foul on Chris Dunn while he was
away from the ball before the ball was inbounded.
And Jokic just right there simply, it's just a simple cross screen action, and Dunn tried to impede Jokic's progress. Got a little too overzealous and chucked the big fella a little bit too much.
Not obviously before the throw-in, but they are in the bonus here. So Jokic shooting free throws. Don't miss a playoff moment with the NBA app. Download the NBA app today for the latest scores, highlights, and behind-the-scenes access to all the drama. Jokic, a finalist for MVP. Also was a finalist for the Clutch Player of the Year, which went to Jalen Brunson. Harden sees the mismatch with Zubac, and again that left hand is not alive. Here's Jokic pushing the pace. Mentioning those comebacks. 8 come from behind victories in the playoffs since 2019, when down 15 or more the Nuggets have. Jokic ends the drought from the field. And he's now 4 of 6 for 9 points.
And Jokic understands what time it is. Look for the big fella to be ultra aggressive for the rest of this half.
Inside to Zoo. And a whistle. Aaron Gordon wants it on him. And it is his second personal. Aaron Gordon in his 11th season out of Arizona. Played a huge role in the Nuggets championship a couple of years ago on both ends of the court. But he's having a tremendous offensive year this year. Zubac uncontested.
Great execution right there. Norman Powell came off that screen hard. 2 Nuggets went to him. Zubac went right down the lane, unguarded for the Jayhawks.
Porter from downtown. No. Nuggets now 5 for 17 from 3. Under 2 minutes in the first half.
And you see Porter's taking that brace off. Obviously, he felt like it was bothering him in his ability to shoot the ball.
Dunn off on a 3. Tapped by Zubac right to Harden.
Great work inside by the big fella, creating the extra possession.
Harden and the foul. Zoo starts the play. The Beard finishes.
But that all started with Zubac just refusing to be boxed out. And then James Harden finishes the play, goes right inside Murray. Murray fouls him. James knows what time it is, and then the flex at the end. 19 points for James Harden, 6 of 9 from the field. He's been an absolute problem from the very beginning of this game up until now.
First foul on Jamal Murray. That'll send Harden to the line. Clippers 6 of 7 from the free throw line in the first half. Harden with a game-high 20 points. In game 1, Harden had 32 points and 11 assists. Under 90 seconds to play. Jokic guarded by 2. Third comes, he finds Brown. Brown, no. Gordon, yes. Aaron Gordon, his first shot since the first quarter. And it's now 63-45. Clippers have led by as many as 20 in this pivotal game 3. Game 4 will be Saturday on TNT. Inside to Jones. Jones, no. Good defense by Gordon. Gordon up ahead, under a minute to play first half. Gordon into traffic. Gordon off his own thigh. There's turnover number 4.
And right there, Gordon just over-penetrated right there. Went right into the Clippers defense. A lot of active hands, nowhere to go. Simply a poor decision on the fast break.
When you're in LA, you got to know where to drive and where to stay.
You definitely better know where you're going in LA. End up in the wrong side of town and it won't be good for you.
I was talking about the traffic, but you got to go there. I get it.
Hey, man. I'm just letting you know just in case you get lost after the game.
Harden knows these streets. Misses there. Leonard knows them as well, and he travels. So there's a turnover on the Clippers. They're 4th. So came in, both coaches stressing turnovers. The loser of game 1 and 2 had 20 turnovers. It's been minimized here in the first half.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot about the turnovers. It's really been about Denver's defense or lack thereof, combined with the Clippers' incredible hot shooting from the three-point line. That's been the story of this game so far.
Just over 7-second differential. Murray doesn't worry about it. He went for the quick bucket. And now the Clippers will have it with the shot clock off. Not sure if Murray was trying to go 2 for 1.
I think Murray just simply saw an easy lane to the basket and decided to go ahead and take the bucket instead of waiting.
Well, James Harden's been the story of this first half for the Clippers, as well as their three-point shooting. Shot clock off here. Leonard with 5 on the game. Down low, whips it. That's the exclamation point on a tremendous first half. Murray, it'll count. No good. The Clippers fell behind by 7, then erupted, ending the quarter on a huge run and extending it here in the second. Led by as many as 20, they'll take a 18-point lead into the half. After a timeout, we'll take you to our Atlanta studios. It's 65-47. Clippers in their first ever game in the postseason at Intuit Dome with a dominant first half performance. In game 3 of what is game 1 of playoff basketball in Intuit Dome history. As we welcome you back here courtside with Brendan Haywood. I'm Jared Greenberg. Perfect time for the lights to go down and the storm to begin here with the Clippers as they, brought in Kawhi Leonard, who has been playing fantastic. We talked about him and Jokic, but it's another future Hall of Famer who really dominated that first half.
Yeah, the first half has been all about James Harden. His fingerprints have been all over this ball game. And right here, you see Jokic too far back in the screen and roll, Harden pulls. Jokic again, too far back in the pick and roll, Harden pulls up. This time he gets to that patented left-hand floater, catches the young fella on the island. It's step back city, and then in transition, the beard is still dangerous. But on the flip side, Jokic had himself a ball game as well. We saw the dimes, 8 assists in the first half. He had a great overall floor game to go with 9 points. He's going to have to do a little bit more if he's going to get these Denver Nuggets back in this ball game, though. But overall, he's had a solid game, but it's not what we've come to expect from the big fella.
We are underway here in game 3. When a series is tied at 1, in NBA history, the winner of game 3 goes on to win the series 74%. Aaron Gordon's struggles continue.
And he's beside himself. He can't believe he missed that one. Great find by Jokic, and Gordon just smoked the layup.
And Leonard gets wrapped up by Murray to prevent the and one opportunity. Kawhi Leonard will start the third quarter at the free throw line. So Kawhi, 39 in game 2. Tonight here in the first half, Leonard 9 points on 4 of 10 shooting. He's had 6 rebounds. And the rebounding would be really key here in game 3.
Yeah, a lot of times when you look at what happens from as far as winning playoff games, it comes down to who's able to control the glass or who's able to have the least amount of turnovers.
Let's find out what the Nuggets discussed at halftime. Here's Taylor Rooks.
Thanks, Jared. I chatted with assistant coach Ryan Saunders, and he said we have to be more physical. They are having a game with their threes, and we got to do better. Said James Harden puts us in a predicament. The way he can come off, pick holes, we got to be up. But he said they're really shooting everywhere on the floor. We have to have better closeouts. Said they made some adjustments to their pick and roll coverages. I asked about Michael Porter Jr. taking off that brace. He said Michael's a rhythm guy. He's playing through it. Hopefully that helps, and he can get hot here this half.
Well, Jokic starts off the half, Taylor, with a 3. Michael Porter Jr. was cold, Taylor, in that first game. It came alive with 15 and 15 in game 2. So far in the first half, MPJ with just 5 points on 2 of 7. Here's Zubac, kicks it in the corner. Good ball movement here by the Clippers. 5 on the shot clock. Down to 3. Powell hoists it. Back of the iron, no good. Powell struggling to find his shot.
And just great extra effort right there by Dunn to get that offensive rebound. You're the Nuggets, you got to find a way to get that.
Down low to Zubac, guarded by Gordon. Jokic comes over, and we're going to get a whistle. 3rd foul on Aaron Gordon. So Gordon, who got such a hot start to begin the game, hit his first 4 shots, has now missed 8 of his last 9 shots from the field, and has just committed his 3rd foul. Have to wonder how much that calf, which he has a sleeve on that right calf, is bothering him. On that right calf, which, you know, we mentioned, he's missed a lot of time this year. He was out 27 games over 2 different stints with that injury.
And listen, calf injuries are tough. And then trying to play through a calf injury in the playoffs when you have to be at your absolute best is even tougher. But I tell you what, Aaron Gordon won't make any excuses. He understands he has to knock down shots, especially that last layup he had inside.
Jokic has a mismatch with Dunn on him. They don't see it.
That's excellent defense by Dunn, though.
Turnaround from Gordon, in and out, no good. Now 1 for his last 10 from the field for Gordon.
And this is by design by the Clippers. They want to show Jokic the proper attention, take away shots from him and Jamal Murray. They want that ball to find guys like Gordon, Brown, and Westbrook.
A wide one-handed shot, no good. And here come the Nuggets. It was the Clippers who said they wanted to play at a faster pace. Are you seeing that Ty Lue's getting what he wants in this game?
I think Ty Lue's getting exactly what he wants. They're playing at a good pace. When they have numbers, they go out there and they run in transition.
Powell poked it away.
If not, they pull it back, and they normally get quality shots.
On hit Renee right in the camera. Renee, we okay over there? Is the camera okay? Yeah, okay. Renee's good to go. He's tough. They got to adjust the lens there. Here's Murray. No.
That's a tough 3 right there. Came off, and he was fading and leading the whole time.
Powell working on Brown. Powell switches hands and scores. He's now in double figures. Norman Powell. They wanted to get him going this game, but didn't want to force feed him. It's come organically tonight. Jokic with Zubac on him. This is the matchup everybody wanted to see tonight. Jokic travels.
Right now, Denver just looks out of sorts. The Clippers just have come out and punched them in the mouth, and Denver has not gotten up off the mat.
Just the first turnover for Jokic. Remember, he had 7 in the game 2 loss.
And the Nuggets right now are going to try to throw a little bit of zone at the Clippers and see if they can knock them out of this offensive rhythm somehow, some way.
In the middle of that zone, Zubac, the zone buster.
That's what he does so well. He has great touch, excellent hands too, no wasted motion inside, and can finish with the left or the right.
9 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. 72-50. Jokic misses, can't chase it down. They're going to say it is Denver basketball. Clippers have their largest lead of the series. Murray, 3 on the timer. Murray forces it up, and he got hit. So Jamal Murray will go to the free throw line. Third foul on Chris Dunn. Murray in his 8th season out of Kentucky. Career high 21.5 points per game. Battled an illness which ran through the Nuggets organization in game 2. Tonight, the NBA on NBA TV is brought to you by Jim Beam. Best enjoyed together, please drink responsibly. And brought to you by Advil. Targets pain caused by inflammation for fast and strong relief. Murray knocks down the free throws. That illness that ran through the organization from the front office to the coaching staff to the players. Even David Adelman said that he was tripping when he got it.
I'll tell you what, the Nuggets tripping tonight defensively.
Zubac, sweet move. It doesn't go down. And here comes Jokic quickly ahead to Murray. Murray tonight, 15 points. Murray, lefty off the window. He's starting to get going.
That's tough. That is super tough right there. Murray getting downhill with the left hand and then finishing over Zubac. Zubac had an excellent challenge, but Murray just put a little bit extra on that when he put it off the glass to get it over his outstretched hand.
Clippers trying to advance out of the first round for the first time since 2021 when they went to the Western Conference Finals. That year they didn't have Kawhi in the conference finals. He misses that jumper. Here's Brown. Backing it out now, getting it to Jokic. Guarded by Zubac. 15-foot jumper, no. Jokic now 5 of 9 from the field. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Third all-time in playoff triple-doubles, looking for another one. (72-54). 5 on the shot clock. Harden playing with it. Harden hoists it up, falls, doesn't go. Leonard tries to pull down the board. And they're going to say last touched here by the Nuggets. Ben Taylor's going to come talk to James Capers and change his mind. Good job of officiating by this veteran crew. Capers initially had it off of the Nuggets. Taylor comes in, changes the call, and now it'll be Denver basketball. Each team has a challenge remaining. Clippers won their challenge early in this game. They get a second. Brown, fade away, tough shot.
He just hasn't been able to get going in this series.
Brown now 2 of 6 from the field. Powell, he's going. Norman Powell's got 13, and the Clippers lead grows to 75-54.
Norman Powell wide open from 3, knocking it down. Clippers all over the Nuggets.
Raj tonight from the Clippers, a team much like the Nuggets who don't rely on the three-point shot. The two teams are 29th and 30th in the NBA in three-point shots attempted per game in the regular season. But for the Clippers, their offense has flowed a lot easier tonight.
It definitely has, and they have so many guys that can knock down shots, as we see Jokic knock down a shot himself. When they run that pick and roll with James, and you have Zubac rolling hard, and then you have Powell and Kawhi out there, that creates so much space, and then Zubac goes down the lane, and you have to account for him.
Well, Norman Powell has come alive here in this game. Backdoor cut for Dunn. Harden whips it in the corner. Kawhi from downtown.
I mean, come on, look at the quality of shot. That's what this game has been all about. The Clippers are taking a lot of threes and hitting a lot of threes, but it's because they're getting great shots. They're not forcing up bad ones.
Kawhi nearly gets the turnover, last touch by Leonard. How about the Clippers offense tonight? They've made 14 three-point field goals. They've made 13 two-point field goals.
And a lot of that comes down to whether it's Kawhi or it's James Harden. They're creating a problem, forcing 2 guys to come to them on the ball. And once they spray that ball around the perimeter, the Nuggets can never catch up, and they give up open triples all night long.
Clippers average just 33.4 three-point attempts per game this regular season. Second from the bottom, only ahead of the Nuggets this year. Powell again. No.
But even on that miss, look at Powell, wide open for a corner three. Anybody will tell you, if you're getting wide open corner threes in your offense, you're doing a good job. In today's NBA, that's what it's all about.
Gordon steps back, travels.
I tell you what, Gordon, he started out hot, but he's been ice cold. Whether it's been turnovers, missed layups, he has just not been able to find it ever since that first quarter.
Yeah, hit his first 4 shots. 78-56. Matches the largest lead for the Clippers, now getting their largest lead.
The luxury of having a big man that is willing to do all the dirty work and thrive in that role is something you can't put a price on. Zubac does that for the Clippers on a nightly basis. Great screener, catches inside, finishes tough, good free throw shooter. He does everything you want from a modern day big that's not a traditional low post threat.
Well, Porter got fouled shooting. You mentioned Zubac. Tonight, the Defensive Player of the Year award came out. He was not a finalist, but he finished 6th. And that man right there, Jay Larranaga, longtime assistant coach for the Clippers, deserves a lot of the credit for the development of Zubac, working with him one-on-one the last couple of years as his coach here on the Clippers. They're out pregame, watching video, watching tape. They've developed that lefty hook shot. They've worked on the footwork defensively, and he has really developed Zubac into one of the best two-way bigs in this league.
Yes, he definitely is. Like you said, you can't. Offensively, you can throw it to him on the low block. He's good in the pick and roll as well. He makes great passes. He finishes with either hand. He just does everything that you want from a big man in today's basketball game if you're not just going to throw it to him on the low block and let him ISO.
Harden misses on the 3. Harden, 20 first half points, has not scored here in the second half. Turnover by the Nuggets. Powell rising to the occasion. Defense into offense. And another Denver timeout.
Nuggets don't know what hit them right now. They're punch drunk out there. They're trying to find the answer. Just bad body language, a lot of confusion. As we see Powell right here, get his hand in the cookie jar, create the turnover, and then detonate for the jam. Clippers by a million.
Tonight, the NBA on NBA TV is brought to you by Claritin. Powerful 24-hour non-drowsy allergy relief. It's been a day at the beach for the Clippers today. It is an 82-58 lead for the Clippers over Denver in Game 3. Let's get an injury update from Taylor Rooks.
Hey, Jared, I was just told that Russell Westbrook has left foot inflammation. He is questionable to return. Strawther is in, guys.
Here's Murray. He gets the lay-in. Yeah, Julian Strawther getting his first run of this series. The Nuggets bench unit has only scored 3 points. Russell Westbrook is responsible for all 3 of those. Strawther in his second season was brought in to be a sharp shooter. Batum from 3, he missed. But the offensive board.
But how many wide open corner threes are the Nuggets going to allow? That's like the 4th one this half.
Last touch there by Strawther. Strawther has missed 16 games due to a left knee injury, but now able to be there. He increased his three-point percentage from his rookie year to this year by 5 percentage points, but not consistent enough of a shooter to crack the playoff rotation over the first 2 games. Here's Powell. That's good.
And that's an excellent drive by Powell. And Jokic right there needs to slide over and show his numbers. You see right here, Jokic has to slide over. Big fella gets a little bit lazy and just reaches in, commits the foul. And as Powell has really had his best game of this series so far tonight, you see the energy. You see the bounce in his step. And on the flip side, look at all the faces of the Denver Nuggets. Look at their players. They're looking at each other. They're shaking their head. Their body language is bad. And I don't know what's going to happen. There's still a lot of time. They can still come back in this game.
Yep.
But what they can't do is let go of the rope.
Largest lead of the game for the Clippers. Powell's got 10 points here in the quarter for LA. Murray guarded by Dunn, who's a menace defensively. They throw it up for Watson, who adjusts and lays it in. You know, you asked Ty Lue before the game what can be done to get Norm Powell going. He said he didn't want to force anything, but if he gets a couple of catch and shoot open threes, maybe a couple of drives to the basket, that could get him going. This could be scary here as Harden knocks or misses on the three. Simmons nearly throws it back down. Powell off the back of the iron, no good. This could be scary here for the Nuggets because they lost the game 2, where it was really Kawhi dominant and nobody else. Now it's Harden, now it's Powell, Batum getting into the mix. What does that mean for the rest of this series here, that the Clippers offense does not need to rely on Kawhi Leonard?
Well, when you really look at it from a big, when you look at it from a big picture standpoint, the Clippers have been shooting right around 50% this series in almost every game. Over 50 in game 1, around 48, 49 in game 2. They're shooting 47% from the field tonight. They're having their way against this Denver defense. They figured out how to get quality shots, and when they don't turn the ball over, it's advantage Clippers.
That was Chris Dunn's 4th personal foul. Really the only negative here for the Clippers is that Dunn is in foul trouble. Derrick Jones Jr. checks back in. Remember, he signed a nice free agent contract this year. Jones, 3-year, $30 million after helping the Mavs get to the NBA Finals last year. Mentioned that Nugget defense. Regular season defensive rating 21st in the league. Offensive foul.
And this is something you don't see every day. A foul was called, and the player looked at the official and nodded his head and said yes.
And the Clippers didn't get back. And Christian Braun gets an easy dunk. 85-66.
If you're on the flip side, if you're the Clippers, don't relax. You got to keep doing what you're doing.
Harden still hasn't scored this half after 20 in the first 2 quarters. It's been the Norman Powell show. He's got 18 for the game for the Clippers. 10 coming here in the 3rd. Approaching 2 minutes to play in the period. Jokic's pass gets interrupted. Batum saves it for Simmons.
This is what they want Ben Simmons to do. When he gets the ball, they want him to push the tempo and get that ball up there. And take advantage of his point guard skill set.
Derrick Jones Jr. looking to set the screen. Harden waves him off. Jones in the corner. Murray knocks it out of bounds. Good defense there by the Blue Arrow. Jokic tonight, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. He's got himself another playoff triple-double. Harden to Simmons, spinning. Simmons shooting, no. And here comes Jokic up ahead. Brown. Good defense by Simmons, getting a piece of it. The Beard up ahead. Harden turns it over. 6th turnover on the Clippers. Brown going 1-on-2. Good defense by Simmons again. Strawther into the paint. Strawther hounded by Batum. They kick it back out. Back to Brown. He'll run a pick and roll with Jokic. Brown hop steps and he got fouled. Well, Christian Braun out of Kansas certainly could have been considered for most improved player. Career highs in his 3rd year in points, assists, rebounds, 3-point percentage, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, steals, minutes.
So you're saying he was very improved?
Very improved.
Do you still get a vote?
There is a vote.
I'm saying, do you get a vote?
I do.
Did you vote for Christian Braun?
No.
Who'd you vote for?
For most improved?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be revealed here in the next couple of days, who wins it.
I didn't say who wins. I said who'd you vote for. You can't tell the people who you voted for?
He is involved in this game.
No. Who? And you got to say it. It's your vote. It's not my vote.
I didn't realize at the ballot box you have to announce to the world who you voted for.
Yeah, in today's day and times, you just might have to. As we see the Nuggets.
Under a minute to play here in the 3rd. It's been all Clippers. They've hit 14 threes in this game. Harden penetrating. Simmons to Powell. 4 on the shot clock. Powell drives. Powell spins. Powell's got a dozen in the corner.
Man, Powell's got it going. He's got to go from 3 in the lane. And with a guy like Powell, he's such a big-time scorer. Like T-Lou said, they just wanted to see that ball go through a little bit early on for him, and they knew he'd be able to step up big after that as we see Jokic knock down the three.
Jokic with 17 points. That's his second triple of the night. He's got 11 rebounds and 11 assists. 10-2 Nuggets run here. There is a 7-second game to shot clock differential.
And James wants to switch on Stroud. A good defense by Brown fighting over.
Harden over to Batum. Batum beats the shot clock.
Wow, Batum has been absolute money from behind the strike. 4 for 5 from 3.
Shot clock off, 2 seconds to go. A good defensive stand by the Clippers to end the quarter. So the Nuggets go on a 10-2 run, but the Clippers withstand it. Norman Powell comes up huge with 12 of his 20 in the third, and the Clippers take a 20-point lead into the fourth quarter on NBA. Clippers have led by as many as 25. They're up by 20 as we go to the fourth quarter. First round coverage on NBA TV is presented by AT&T. Well, James Harden, who had 20 points in the first half, did not score in the third quarter and went 0 for 4. Why are the Clippers still up by 20? It's because of Norman Powell. 12 points in the third quarter, 5 of 9 shooting from the field. This is a guy who scored 25 total points in games 1 and 2, but has found his rhythm here in game 3.
And a lot of it comes back to the fact that he's just an excellent and smart basketball player. A lot of guys you see in playoff scenarios, they don't have their best game in game 1 or 2. They start forcing the action. He didn't force the action. He let the game come to him. He got quality looks. He knocked those down. And once he got hot, he never cooled off.
Well, there's going to be a defensive foul here, but it looks like Bogdanovic got cracked in the face. And he is still down. I believe the translation is he hit me in the face, bro.
Yeah. I think he'll be all right, though. Couldn't really see it. Obviously got hit in the face.
That foul was on Bogdanovic, his second of the quarter already. For Bogdanovic, teamed with Jokic over the summer. Serbia's bronze medal.
And where did the points come from for this Nuggets lineup? Obviously Westbrook's going to be out for the rest of the game. As we see Strauber getting his shot blocked by Zubac inside. But no Jokic, no Jamal Murray, no Russell Westbrook. And now I think we're going to get an illegal screen on DeAndre Jordan.
Is this David Adelman looking ahead to Saturday, game 4?
It could be. It could be. Depending on what happens over the next 2 to 3 minutes. If this team cuts into the lead, maybe you bring back Jokic and Murray. If things get worse and the lead balloons, maybe you get ready for Saturday and see if you can make up for what you did tonight.
Jones driving. He's aggressive and got fouled. So Murray on the bench, Jokic on the bench, Gordon on the bench.
And I know the lead is big right now, and Denver's down. But if you're guys like Strauber, if you're a guy like Pickett, understanding that Westbrook might not be available for game 4, you need to go out there and put your best foot forward in this fourth quarter and try to stamp your way into getting some minutes in game 4 yourself. So this is some big-time opportunity for the young fellas.
David Adelman was the top assistant for Michael Malone as the Nuggets won 50 games for the 3rd straight year, making their 7th playoff appearance. But it was at the end of the season when Malone and both he and Calvin Booth, the GM, were let go on April 8th with 3 games to go.
And you never see that.
Pickett driving. Pickett off the side of the rim. Last touch by DeAndre Jordan.
I mean, it's just been such a weird season coming down the stretch for the Denver Nuggets. They were losing game after game. They drop in the standings. Then you have your head coach fired along with the GM with only a couple games left in the season. Something that you almost never see. Just very weird timing.
By the way, Murray and Jokic going to the scorer's table after that Leonard miss. So the white flag has not been raised. Gordon pulls up, no. And Zubac just powers his way to the rebound. Zubac this year, 4th in the league in rebounds per game. They give it to Zubac, and Zubac got fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. Zubac is indeed a finalist for most improved player, as you see Jokic and Murray come back in. Zubac.
Is that where your vote went?
It did.
Okay. It took us some time, but we finally got to it. I knew I'd get you there.
You know, Zubac had the best, if you like plus-minus ratings, he had the best plus-minus rating of anybody in the NBA who was not on Oklahoma City, Boston, or Cleveland, or named Nikola Jokic. So anybody outside the top 3 teams in basketball and the finalists for MVP. It was Zubac right behind him.
It just tells you his impact on winning. It just shows you how many things that he does as far as with his scoring, rebounding, as we see the big fella with the excellent footwork right there. But getting back to Zubac, he has a major impact on winning. He affects the paint on both ends. That's the biggest thing that he does. He catches and finishes in the paint. He protects the paint. If you can do that, you'll help your team win a lot of ball games.
Jokic has another triple-double. Great lead from Leonard to Jones.
And just Zubac's presence right there. Zubac flashing big into the lane caused the weak side Denver Nuggets defender to come up with him and leave Jones wide open for the jam.
Nuggets will not have Russell Westbrook. He's officially been ruled out with left foot inflammation. Jokic whips it to Gordon, who's cutting. Gordon goes up, and he gets one to fall.
And he's grimacing. He's a little bit gimpy coming back, too.
Only one day between game 3 and 4. They'll play Saturday evening, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 local time on TNT. Offensive foul on the Clippers.
Gordon doesn't look right, man. They might want to get him out of the game.
Gordon walking over.
Grimacing a little bit.
Again, David Adelman telling us before the game, if this was a regular season game, probably wouldn't see Gordon in there. Jokic down to the post, working. Step back, way short.
Great defense by Zubac.
Leonard attacking Murray. Oh, the claw! Wow. Kawhi Leonard.
I need to see that one again. Kawhi in transition, in between the legs. And then, excuse me, little fella, get out my way real quick. Bing, bing. And then drops Murray off at the basket.
You heard a lot of Kawhi and his teammates talking about how he looked and felt after that 39-point performance. Not so much that he scored 35, but he said just happy to be able to move and coming out of the game feeling well. Nuggets nearly turned it over. Nick Batum pleading with the bench for a challenge. Clippers have one left. Jeff Van Gundy and Ty Lue are screaming for it. Ty Lue is on the court saying he wants the challenge. Not going to risk waiting too long for this call of the coach's challenge. The green light is on. We'll find out the referee's decision after a short.
Second challenge of the game used by Ty Lue. Second successful challenge. This was initially ruled Nuggets basketball,
but it was last touched by Christian Brown, so Clippers basketball. However, Ty Lue has no challenges remaining.
Don't think he'll need them.
Up 20 with 8.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. It was a 26-4 first half run by the Clippers that really made the difference. Batum, airball. Zubac the rebound. 3 by Bogdanovic, back iron no good. And last touch by Kawhi. Kawhi, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Jokic tonight, 19 points, 12 assists, 13 rebounds. Murray to Jokic.
But the biggest thing for the Clippers is they've gotten excellent shots all game long. They haven't turned the ball over. And that was the focus of what they wanted to do. They knew they could attack this Denver Nuggets team. The Nuggets aren't known for their defense. They've been a poor defensive team for a large part of the season. And they knew if they didn't turn the ball over, they'll give them more cracks at the apple, like trying to attack this defense and exploit it. That's exactly what has happened so far tonight.
Fourth foul of the game on Ivica Zubac. That'll send Jokic back to the free throw line. Said about a month ago that he's playing the best basketball of his life. And even with this result, when you have arguably the best player on the planet, certainly has to give the Nuggets and their fans hope moving forward as this quickly turns around Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic is playing great, and you understand that on a nightly basis, he's going to give you what he gives you. But where Nuggets Nation really has to be worried is you look around, Michael Porter Jr. only 7 points. Christian Brown hasn't had a good game in this series yet. We don't know about the availability of Russell Westbrook, and quite frankly, I'm not sure if you can, if the coaching staff knows if they can trust the young guys on this bench in high-level moments. Whether it's Peyton Watson, Strouber, Pickett, those guys aren't proven, so it's going to be a very interesting game 4.
First foul on Jokic. That'll send Kawhi Leonard to the free throw line. And Kawhi tonight, after 39, 16, relatively pedestrian game with the way he has played over the last several weeks. Last 25 games, averaging 25.5 points per game. As we take a look at the upcoming NBA playoff schedule, Friday out of ESPN, it'll be the Celtics and Magic at 7 Eastern, followed by the Wolves and Lakers. On ESPNU and NBA TV, Game 3 of that Bucks-Pacers series at 8 Eastern. Saturday on ABC, the Rockets and Warriors play Game 3 of that. Is it a boxing match, that series?
Yes, it is. It's been a lot of hand-to-hand combat.
Down low to Watson, gets triple teamed. That leaves Murray open. Good zone adjustment by the Clippers. Corner for Porter. No good. And if you're just joining us, Porter started the game with that wrap on his left shoulder, took it off, and has been playing without it since. Harden turnaround, no. I mean, Kawhi turnaround, that was no good.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Coach Adelman, I'm looking at this clock, maybe 1 minute, 2 more minutes. It's a 20-point lead. If something drastic doesn't happen, I'm pulling my guys and getting ready for Game 4.
So we talked about the fact that Leonard has not had the explosive offensive night. How about the fact that Harden had 20 first-half points, has not scored here in the second half, and the Nuggets still have not been able to make a dent?
Well, he hasn't had to. We talked about what Norman Powell was able to do in the third quarter, and the Clippers have ridden that wave.
Nice feed. 4 on the timer. Zubac, fancy footwork by Big Zoo. 15 and 7.
The big fella with the up and under step through and then finishing with the offhand.
They're going to change the call here. That was poked away, initially ruled out on the Nuggets, and then Ray Acosta comes in and changes the call. It'll be Denver basketball. Here's a look at that feed by Harden, and then check out the footwork here.
Nice little step through. Gets to that left hand, and then with Christian Brown on him over there, he's just too small. It's like shooting over a chair.
Jokic looking for Murray, just going to keep it himself, and why not? He's now got 23. Point lead for the Clippers. Zubac again.
I think we're going to see the rest of the starters taken out now. The Nuggets have officially let go of the rope. Zubac cut right down the lane, and there wasn't a Denver Nugget in sight on the weak side, and this cannot happen. Zubac going down the lane with the finish.
Just moments ago in the Nuggets timeout, there's Nikola Jokic having an animated conversation with Nuggets assistant coach Ryan Saunders. And it happened a couple of times throughout the timeout as well.
I mean, that's just what frustration looks like. You're on the road, big-time playoff game. You're getting absolutely destroyed at both ends, and you don't have any answers as Jamal Murray knocks down the floater right there.
Jokic and
actually
Murray still in there.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Murray and Jokic are still in the ballgame, and Michael Porter Jr., especially with that AC joint. He has a grade 2 AC joint. So every time he gets hit on that thing, he's going to feel it.
Free ball. Remember when we said he didn't have much of a scoring night? Well, he's up to 21 points.
That's because he's been open a lot.
Brown, he's left open, and the push shot goes down for Christian Brown.
Brown needs to take advantage of these last 5 minutes to try to get his offensive game sparked. They're going to need him in game 4. Like we said, we don't know what Russell Westbrook's availability is going to be. If you're just tuning in, he has a foot injury or foot inflammation. So they might need Brown a lot more on Saturday.
Kawhi whips it on the other side of the court. How did he see Derek?
These are just practice shots right now. Like I said, if you're Coach Adams and get your guys out, they're not competing on that end. Defensively, they've given up.
Porter off on a 3.
It's time to pull your guys. Go ahead and sit them down. Live to fight another day. Defensively, they're not connected, or the game plan isn't working. Either way you slice it, it's about that time.
It's been the criticism of the Nuggets all year. Those wondered, even with an elite offensive player in Jokic, could they make up for their defensive shortcomings?
Well, when you look at NBA history, I want to say outside of maybe like the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, you normally need to be like a top 15 team in defensive efficiency if you're going to win the championship. And normally if you're not that, it's kind of hard for you to win.
Bottom 10 in defense this year were the Nuggets, and here come the bench unit as Jokic will officially come out. We'll watch him here. Those who question about his passion for the game just saw it moments ago. He loves playing basketball. He's a competitor, works as hard off the court on his game as anybody. Gotten himself into tremendous shape, but tonight's just not his night and the Nuggets night. It's been all about the Clippers.
Well, when you're a great player in your prime, you only have a certain amount of years in your prime, and you never want to see those years wasted. And if you're Jokic, you understand. He said, hey, I'm playing my best basketball, as we see a careless turnover here from the Denver Nuggets.
I almost had that one.
No, you did not.
My reach just a little too short.
Your arms aren't long enough. Arms definitely aren't long enough.
So the first ever playoff basketball game at Intuit Dome is going to be won by the home team. And the Clippers have done a lot of that this year. They whip it around to Bogdanovich. Bogdanovich, nice move there. Clippers started their home schedule by losing their first 4 games here at Intuit Dome. Then went 30-7 in this building. About to go to 31-7 since losing their first 4 home games. Intuit Dome has treated this squad well. There were questions about how this crowd would react tonight. Hunter Tyson off on a 3. Ty Lue's going to call a timeout. David Adelman provoked this crowd by saying it's loud whether the crowd is cheering or not at Intuit Dome. The crowd is loud now here with the Clippers up big. Would win game 3 easily. Not so easy. Down 29 points, the Thunder rallied in the second half, got 31 points on the night from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and they take a 3-0 series advantage over Memphis. The winner of that series will play the winner of our series in the 4-5 matchup, where it looks like the Clippers are going to take a 2-1 series advantage here. With game 4 coming up quickly, Drew Eubanks getting his first run of this series, got his shot knocked out of bounds. So, as we look ahead here with game 4 Saturday afternoon in this building, you know, the Nuggets said that they felt like they could have been up 2-0 or could have been down 0-2 based on how the first 2 games went. Now they're trailing in this series for the first time.
Yeah, I think both teams had a claim that they could be up 2-0 heading into this game because both of those first 2 games were so close. And this was just a totally different feel, different ball game right from the jump. The Clippers were in sync offensively. Defensively, they really had it going, and the adjustments that Coach Ty Lue has made work to perfection.
This team really turned the corner a couple of months ago, around March, when they rattled off 18 of 21 wins to close out the regular season. It was tied for the best record over that stretch in the NBA. Offense took off. Defense has been good all year long. Here's George Miller.
And then just the way this Clippers team even got into this position with that is very impressive win over the Warriors in the play-in game. Just says a lot about this team's character, who they are, and who they've rounded into at this time of the season.
And based on the games they played, as Patty Mills checks in for the first time this series, and a foul underneath on the Nuggets, you know, you just don't know when a team has to play regular season games as if they're playoff games. Like you said, that game for the Warriors was to be in the top 6 or to be in the play-in tournament. And you don't know whether that exhausts a team or whether that builds character and momentum leading into the postseason.
I think it definitely builds character. When you have to go into a team like Golden State's home arena, understanding the championship pedigree that they have, with Steph Curry having himself a ball game and still find a way to win that game, it just helps you build character, it helps you build confidence, and it says a lot about who you are as a ball club.
111-82 after the Eubanks free throws. Jalen Pickett running the offense. He had seen limited minutes over the first couple of games. Strawther falls.
The Clippers offensively just got so much good action tonight. Norman Powell with 20 points, yes. Kawhi Leonard 21, Zubac 19, James Harden with 20. Then you got Batum with 12 off the bench, 4 of 6 from 3. Derrick Jones Jr. getting the action with 10 himself.
So the Clippers won a game by riding on the back of Kawhi Leonard. Tonight they won a game with a balanced approach. Like you said, basically 4 out of the 5 scoring 20 points in terms of the starters.
That's why they're so hard to guard. When you look at them, you know Norman Powell was capable of getting hot, as we saw in the third quarter. Then you look out there and you know that the Harden-Zubac pick and roll is an absolute problem. Then James Harden just one-on-one in ISO situations, he's still an elite player and able to have big nights. And now that Kawhi Leonard is back to playing like the old Kawhi Leonard, they just have so many options of what they can do offensively.
Another big key tonight for Ty Lue was the rebounding battle. They're up right now by 8 in terms of the rebounds. Ty Lue saying coming into tonight, we got to hit bodies and we got to secure the rebound.
And truthfully, I mean, that was why they lost game 1. There was a sequence very late in that ball game where they just simply could not get a defensive rebound, and that was a major part of why Denver was able to win game 1. Kudos for the Clippers for cleaning that up tonight.
Yeah, game 2, despite losing, the Nuggets out-rebounded the Clippers by 18. So it wasn't just nitpicking by these coaches. They felt there were real concerns coming into this game. It was the Clippers who answered the bell late in that first quarter. A 26-4 run from the first into the second quarter was the difference in this game, and it was mostly keyed by the three-point shot. These two teams not known as three-point shooting teams, but tonight the Clippers have made 17 of them, and the Nuggets just 7 threes. There's another 3 hoisted up. It's no good from Miller. And here is Watson streaking down. So now, not only adjustments, but Saturday, the injury concerns. You mentioned Russell Westbrook, who left with the injury. We saw Aaron Gordon grimace throughout the night. We saw Michael Porter Jr. have to adjust his left shoulder brace, or wrap, I should say, that he was wearing. So all of that has to be figured out before 3 o'clock local time on Saturday.
A lot of questions for this Denver Nuggets ball club right now, and not a lot of answers. Whether we're talking about the injuries, whether we're just talking about the offensive efficiency or lack thereof tonight. The defensive lapses and pick and roll coverage on the top of the defense and on the weak side. The amount of corner threes they've given up, it's just been a flat out destruction right now by the Los Angeles Clippers against these Nuggets.
Here's Watson with the step back. He's up. Aaron Gordon, you just have to wonder how much that calf impacted him tonight. He hit his first 4 shots from the field, feeling good, looking good. Turnover, Nuggets come up with it. Hunter Tyson.
And it's just been that type of night for the Nuggets. It's been that type of night. Even when you get the turnover, you get Tyson in front for what seems like an easy layup, it turns into a turnover.
Gordon hit his first 4 shots. Then he went 2 for 12 from the field.
And that's hard to do. A couple of shots were right there at the rim, too.
That was the 16th turnover by the Nuggets. Patty Mills.
The veteran.
The 18th three made by the Clippers tonight. They shot 48% from the field, 46% from 3. Najee, he's off on a 3. 39% from the field for the Nuggets. 27% from 3. And we can hear this crowd now. There's no doubt about it. Clipper faithful in full force. Witnessing history tonight here in Englewood. The first ever playoff game results in a Clipper win in dominant fashion. Fell behind by 7 early. LAC rallied back, led by as many as 34 points. And the Clippers take a 2-games-to-1 series advantage.
Через край перелилась восторга творческого чаша.
Oh, heaven knows, men know that I love you so much, Jamila. Ooh, yes I do. You left my world and left me so cold. Now I'm wondering how I'm gonna get you back. Hey, nasa napata mikirai, Jamila kiyape mun. Na dawo gida ban ga Jamila ba, na dawo gida ban ji muryanta ba. Hey, wayo, a neman mun Jamila. Hey, hey, ooh. what you want. Gida, 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 gida. Ooh, no matter what people do or say, this love will never die. If I knew I never hurt you so bad, drinking so much, too much women.